Hi, it's Michael Senoff with Michael Senoff's HardToFindSeminars.com. The title of this interview is called How to Double or Even Triple Your Marketplace and Get Your Direct Mailing Right. It's an interview with legendary list broker Michael Fishman. If you think companies simply luck into their successful direct mail campaigns, then this audio will amaze you. In it, you'll hear from one of the world's best list brokers. His name is Michael Fishman, and you'll learn about how to expand your list universe and take the guesswork out of your direct mail promotions. And Michael knows what he's talking about. He's worked with some of the biggest names in the business, including legendary copywriter Gary Bencivenga, who calls Michael the list wizard because of the way he works like magic behind the scenes in some of the largest campaigns ever. And in this interview, you'll hear from the wizard himself about how he does his magic by expanding marketplaces and finding similarities where other list brokers don't. But according to Michael, before you even think about expanding your list universe, you need to fully understand what your market is and how your product fits into it. And in this audio, you'll hear how to do that. You'll also learn how to think outside your immediate category and find customers in places you never thought to look. You'll learn all about the different elements of a direct mail campaign and how they work together to create success. You'll learn how to run the kind of test that validates demand for your product while giving you the kind of concrete results you can trust. You'll learn 3 things Michael looks for in a list to know for sure if it will work. You'll learn all about word branding and ways to build trust even if nobody knows your name right now. You'll learn about crossing over from internet success to direct mail success and vice versa. You'll also learn all about the 3 types of direct mail, what works, what doesn't, and what you'll definitely want to avoid. Finding target customers may be more strategic than you think. It usually involves tracking them down and getting them to migrate to your product. In this interview, we'll tell you how to do that, including all the other things you need to know to take the guesswork out of your direct mail. Now let's get going. Well, I remember when we talked last, you had mentioned that you knew Eugene Schwartz, and I've listened to Eugene Schwartz speak, and one thing that really impacted me when he spoke, he talked about how you can't really create demand with copywriting or with marketing. You have to channel demand, and it kind of reminded me of what you have here. What should a marketer do before you try and sell anything?
Well, it's a great question, Michael. I appreciate that, and I'm glad we kind of have Gene's spirit with us on the call, too. Well, before selling anything, there's a couple things, and the way I see it, number one, to really understand your market. You know, what Gene said is very true. You can't create demand, and I think as he put it, it's too big and too enormous for anybody or any company or organization to create. You can either channel it if it exists, or you can trigger it if there's latent demand for something, but it's always there to be channeled, not created. The thing you need to do is understand your market, understand not so much from a product perspective, but from a needs perspective, either needs or experiences or knowledge. What does the market want, or what does the market segment that you're thinking of addressing or doing business with want? What are their deeply held aspirations and desires? What are they trying to achieve? Where are they trying to get to? So understanding your market at that level helps you get to a product that has a chance to make it in what is certainly a very tough and competitive marketplace. The other thing is to validate the demand for the product. There are products that we call product-driven, which is an editor or a product designer or a product developer falls in love with a product and feels certain that the market wants it, and then marketing goes out and tries to sell that product with disappointing results, if not outright failure. The best way to approach it from a research perspective, and the research can be very simple questions to an email list. It doesn't have to be sophisticated. But to validate demand, you talk about your product with your market in a survey format, either online or offline. You let them know what it will be. You maybe talk about some of the options for what you might want to name the product, and even might go so far as some of the early marketing headlines or some of the descriptive language for selling the product, and see how your list or how the marketplace responds to that. So validating demand is important. Understanding your market is important. Put yourself in the shoes of your prospects and customers. You know, someone said it as think as your market, not think of your market. To find little nuance there, but I think it's very, very helpful.
Can you give me an example of maybe a campaign or someone who you knew had fallen in love with their product, and maybe a story of how that created a pretty big failure?
I think in market where I've spent a tremendous amount of time in the last 25 years. It's most of my business practices in health and self-help topics, information and products. We'll get into plenty of specifics as we talk here, but without getting into specifics in this case, there are, as an example, newsletters that have been positioned with particular doctors that companies have struggled to market year after year, ultimately to either alter their expectations and realize that they've got a much smaller business than they originally had hoped for, or just to discontinue their efforts to build that brand or to build that business positioned with that doctor. I think any concept in any business can be tested even with some very simple research, some very simple questionnaires, with customers, with prospects. I know Tim Ferriss, who wrote the 4-Hour Work Week, talks in his book about how he named the 4-Hour Work Week by doing some testing with Google AdWords. Or people in the offline world can do questionnaires to their customers and even to some outside prospects. So those things are possible, but that can be done for virtually any product in any marketplace. I'm sure there are thousands of examples of products that have failed, which, had there been some even simple research activities, would never have been launched.
Can you give a realistic idea if someone launches with a product and let's say they approach you on a large level because you're dealing with large numbers and pretty established products and companies, how many home runs are there? I mean, what are the numbers? Out of 100 campaigns, what do you see statistically can end up being a real home run and a big winner for a company?
It's a good question, Michael, and the definition of a home run, just like the definition of a simple word like success, is different for every organization. One company can get a 2% response in direct mail, let's say, and throw a party to celebrate such a great result, and that same 2% at another company could be a pretty bad problem. So it really depends on product and price points and marketplaces and the economics of the organization that's doing the marketing.
Hi, it's Michael Senoff with HardToFindSeminars.com. Thanks for watching this video. Many of my interviews last 30 minutes, 40 minutes, an hour, sometimes even up to 2.5 hours long. They're actual mini seminars, and you've just listened to a short sample of just one of over 117 hours of exciting, hard-hitting, mind-blowing interviews on how to make money in direct mail, advertising, copywriting. I assure you, there is not a resource anywhere on the internet or on the planet that comes close to the free information I provide at HardToFindSeminars.com. So go right now to HardToFindSeminars.com and you'll have free access to 117 hours of audio interviews with typed word-for-word downloadable transcripts and downloadable MP3 files. Please browse some more of the videos or go right directly to HardToFindSeminars.com. Thanks for watching.